Hey, everybody, we're back again. The Coon Prairie Ramblers confabulating on Flag Day. And
I think we talked about flags last time and probably got enough stuff we can carry on into the next segment. And Casey was going to find out what state we were talking about that has National Flag Day and recognize it.
Pennsylvania was the first state to recognize a state holiday as Flag Day. And New York also has a Flag Day.
So they must celebrate it on Monday, or they take the day off on Monday.
Or Sunday. A lot of people work on Sunday.
Are they that patriotic, or they just want another day off?
I think they just want another day off.
Yeah, let's move. No, let's don't. Let's don't say we
Is that
did,
one of them Yankee things?
One of them Yankee things. But speaking of Yankee things, well, it ain't even a Yankee thing. I think a lot of people around here who may be listening to this, and I know we knew a former Marine here that lived here for many years, died a couple of years ago, named Donnie Lefebvre. Had the Arcadia Electric service, which he got from his dad, and he was a very patriotic person. And there was an establishment here in DeSoto County, I won't say where it is or who had it or whatever, but it had the raggediest, nastiest looking flag hanging out in front of that thing. That flag was out there for years. It was tattered, it was torn, it was faded. It looked like it wasn't even good for anything. It was just in horrible shape one day, and Donnie rode by that quite a bit. And one day he just got a belly full of it, and he just slammed on brakes and got out of his work truck, went out there and started rolling it up. The guy comes running out of the building. "What are you doing? That's my flag," or whatever. And I won't tell you what the words that Donnie used, but he was a Marine getting ready to storm that guy. Let's put it that way. And the guy, he was afraid of Donnie. Donnie meant business, and he promised Donnie that he would replace that flag the very next day if he wouldn't say anything or beat him up or whatever. So Donnie took the flag anyway and went and had it disposed of.
Strong arm robbery.
That's right. But the next day the guy had a flag out there.
Yeah.
And there is a proper way to dispose of a flag.
That's right.
It's ceremoniously burned.
That's right. And by organizations. There's organizations that'll take care of that.
You can take it to the Legion Hall, too.
We were talking about people abusing the flag earlier. That kind of aggravates me. And when I see people doing that, the only silver lining I can see in that, and this is just me trying to not justify it, but just to make peace with their idiocy, is the fact that maybe, hopefully, the flags that they're burning and stomping on and desecrating are the ones made in China. We get a lot of them from China.
Sometimes, and like I say, it's a bad thing, but it can renew a spirit and a vigor for the love of our nation and our flag when people see other people doing something so disrespectful.
That's exactly right.
It can instill a new spirit in people. And some people say, "I don't want to see that," Because, most of us have had somebody somewhere in our background that served in the armed forces that made this country what it is. And they may not have necessarily gave up their life, but they were prepared to. Mm-hmm. And they knew that was a possibility, that by them, going into the service, that they would possibly have to fight and could be, very well putting themselves in harm's way. And
that's right. And I think most of us have seen a relative or close friend at their funeral that a flag was draped over their coffin.
Right.
That's very stirring.
Very moving.
Yeah, that's the ceremony where you have the honor guard, and they shoot the rifles, and then one of the fellows comes and takes the flag, and they fold it up ceremoniously.
It takes a couple of guys,
and then they hand it to the widow or the surviving member of the family. I remember my brother when he was buried. His nieces, his daughters and nieces, they were hanging on to the tent. We were under a tent, and there was poles. The ceremony was so moving that I remember seeing one of the daughters just sliding down the pole, crumpling, just under the emotion of it.
Yeah, they did that at my father's funeral. After they folded the flag, they gave it to me. My mother had passed away beforehand, I guess, because I was a son. The flag was presented to me. I still have it. I'm telling Luke and Mel that I need to get it mounted into a case and
Yeah.
properly displayed.
Can you recall the words? I mean, I can almost recall that this is given to you for a grateful country. Something about a grateful country.
I don't remember.
They would say.
Pretty...
I went to the commander of the guard here one day, and I asked him, "What is that? Give me that." And he spit it out just like that. That phrase that they use when they hand a flag, folded flag to
it's word for word that they use at all those
Yeah.
funerals. It's very moving. If you want to see a movie about that sort of thing, it's pretty moving. It's called Gardens of Stone. It's about the military cemetery. It's got a number of stars in it that you would recognize, but it's got a story, a plot line all through it about the politics of all that, going off to war and blah, blah, blah. And one of their own even leaves and goes and comes back at the end in the coffin or whatever. It's very moving. Mm-hmm. It's about all that, and it teaches you a lot.
Not too long ago, we had the Vietnam Wall here, the smaller version of the one that's in Washington.
We did.
That was very emotional. I went there just on a lark. I'm thinking, I need to go see this thing. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. I knew a couple of guys who died in Vietnam. Personally, I was in elementary school with them. So I conjured up the name and went to the desk there, and I said, Willie Durham. And I can't tell you when he was or when he was there. Maybe he was sick. I remember his funeral because I went to his funeral. So it was, I gave him an approximate year. Sure enough, they popped up his name, and they gave me the paper, and I went over there and traced his name. I found his name on the wall.
That's pretty cool.
That's amazing what things like that will do to you.
And if you were over there, imagine the impact it would have on you to go to the actual wall,
right,
and see something like that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people had feelings of guilt that they made it through all that, and that someone else didn't. Or
survivor grief, I think that's what that's called.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I guess
why them and not me?
Yeah, and some of us didn't go at all. And I'm not saying I didn't, but it wasn't because I tried to get out of it. I just didn't pass a physical. I can remember so well that day. I was drafted, and I was sent to Carl Gables, the Armed Forces Entrance Examination Station. And we all went down on this bus, and I remember a lot of the guys, that was the last time I saw them for many years because they were gone.
They kept them.
And they sent me back. And I was sitting there looking at some of the people, and I said, good gosh, I thought I was healthier than this one was, and they were gone.
That's crazy.
Yeah. This fellow that I traced his name on the wall, Willie, it was his passion to go off. When we were in high school, it was his passion. He couldn't wait to get out. He was going to go to the Marines, and he was going to go to Vietnam. I mean, that was his goal. He had died soon after getting to Vietnam. He wasn't there very long.
Cannon fodder, as they called a lot of them, probably.
Yeah.
Well, that's a shame.
But in my case, I was just thinking about, how am I going to get out of school? Hoping I can get out of school.
Well, you were next door, Vietnam.
Oh, yeah. Well, I went a couple years.
Or?
I was in Thailand. I went a couple years later, but my reason for going to the service was I needed a job. Yeah, this is early 70s. I just needed to get out of town.
Does it make you feel old to know that the three of us sitting in this room are older than two of the stars on our flag?
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I can easily sit back and remember when they made it. Well,
tell my kids or grandkids that. They look at me like I'm Methuselah.
Yeah, like you were here during the...
We came over on the Mayflower or something.
Look at nation.
All righty then. Well, it's about time for us to get on out here for another segment, but we'll be back with the last segment very shortly. So y'all hang tight.